It's a place where I'm trying to share all of the knowledge that I get from my journey with others who are sort of either learning to surf or progressing or intermediates or anything like that. So it's basically an area where I'm trying to help other surfers like myself either improve their knowledge or just get more info on certain questions.
Hello and welcome to the UK Surf Show. We are your hosts. I'm Pete.
And I'm Leighton. On this episode, we speak to Rich from thewaveshack.com. So he was really cool, wasn't he? He's got a blog website.
Yeah, blog and reviews, all sorts of information. But this episode specifically, we wanted to give towards, well, as it's now in December. Mm-hmm. Well, it's not when we're recording this, it's not, but it will be when this comes out, will be December. It's, ideas for Christmas presents for surfers. So if you've got, well, more than likely, if you're listening, you are a surfer or you do surf. If you're listening or you want some ideas for surfers.
If you want some ideas to give to your partner to buy you.
Yeah.
This is a good one. This is a good episode for that.
Or, just to send and go, buy me this.
Yeah. So, he's written a blog on his website, which is about the good presents for surfers. There's also loads of other stuff on there.
Yeah, there's loads, all sorts of things from etiquette to
there's a really
reviews.
Helpful resource for people that are getting into surfing in particular.
Yeah.
And I went on about it quite a bit in the episode, but I really love the quizzes that he's done. So if you are looking at buying a wetsuit, you can put in all the answers to the questions that he asks you on there, and it will spit out a size, and that's even specific to different makes of wetsuits, which is really handy because, as we know, each
they're
wetsuit,
all the same,
it's not all the same size for every wetsuit brand. So for him to do that must take quite a lot of work, and he's doing it just for like the love of surfing and
help
giving
people,
back.
He does say halfway through it, like it's a bit as we're going in. It's a bit like an advert for North Course, some of it, isn't it? But while we're on that,
that was a good seamless segue.
It would have been till you said that.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget, you can it's till the end of this month now. Still get 15% off anything you buy at North Core. Just use the promo code SurfShow15 and you'll get 15% off anything you buy.
Yes.
Yeah. So
let's jump in.
Here we go.
My name's Rich. I run a UK-based surf blog that's sort of created by an amateur surfer, which is me, for sort of other amateur surfers. It's a place where I'm trying to share all of the knowledge that I get from my journey with others who are sort of either learning to surf or progressing or intermediates or anything like that. So it's basically an area where I'm trying to help other surfers like myself either improve their knowledge or just get more info on certain questions they might have, which is they might have the same questions I've had on my journey. So I'm trying to create a space where it's useful and it's like a singular repository for decent surfing content, if you will. I suppose that's the closest.
Yeah. So how long has it been going now then?
It's been going since 2017, so it's like it's 3 years old actually. Turned 3 in October, so it's been a long old time, and it's taken a lot of work. But slowly, I feel like it's building up into this piece of work and a project that I'm really proud of, and hopefully is continuing to help other surfers like me.
The website looks super slick. And so, what kind of content are you putting out there?
So it started off. I thought I'd start the content with a type of theoretical base and foundation. So a lot of the first blog posts I did looked at sort of the history of surfing and how it started, and also went into sort of the history of the surfboard and the history of the wetsuit to try and get a real sort of fundamental understanding of how the whole hobby sort of began, and it went from there to looking at sort of buying guides for the big purchases like surfboards and wetsuits, and I've tried to tweak other areas to make them useful. So I've managed to create a few quizzes that I think are really useful as well. So there's like a what surfboard do I get quiz, and there's a what wetsuit size do I get quiz, and it's all just stemmed off the back of me having questions about my own journey and trying to find the answers online. And then when I feel like I've got the answers, I just put a blog post out there that I feel would help other people. So, it's a mixture between buying guides, sort of how-to videos, quizzes, product reviews, and a sort of underpinning of surfing theory. So it's quite a mixed bag, really.
The quizzes sounds like a really good idea, because particularly for buying guides for wetsuits, they can be quite difficult, can't they? Like when you're, if you're going to make a purchase and you're going to spend a lot of money on, say, a winter wetsuit, if you buy it online, that can be quite daunting, really, because you obviously don't want to send it back and have all the pain in the ass process of doing that. So having a quiz, I suppose you just go through and ask yourself the questions, and it comes up with this is going to be the best. Basically,
yeah, it works just like that. The quizzes I've built are, they take 2 or 3 minutes to complete, and they ask you a number of questions like, how tall are you? What's your measurements here and here? And ask you to pick the sort of the brand you're after, because obviously, like you've mentioned on a few episodes, there's different wetsuit sizes and different cuts of wetsuit for each brand. So even if you're a medium in a Billabong wetsuit, you might be a medium small in an O'Neill wetsuit. So that wetsuit quiz factors in all of those areas and looks at each brand, and at the end it basically spits out the size that it would recommend you buy, I suppose. But with all those quizzes, I kind of put a little disclaimer that says, ideally, it would be great to actually try the wetsuits on in the shop. And,
of course.
And do that before actually purchasing, which is obviously not at all what I did when I bought my wetsuit. I looked online and I decided that I was going to fit a certain size, and I bought it without looking and just sort of fingers crossed. And luckily it works, but not really following my own.
Now this COVID thing is seems to be part of life now. When you go to buy a new wetsuit now, you can't try it on in the shop. So something like that quiz is going to be massively beneficial. Like I know you can take it away from the shop, try it on, and then take it back again. But when you're actually in the shop, you're not allowed to try it on. So I had this exact same problem actually. So I'm an extra large in a winter wetsuit, and this year I bought a summer wetsuit while I was down in Willicombe, and I just picked up extra large. It was a different make. I got a Rip Curl Flash Bomb for the winter, and I had, I think it was a seaskin summer suit, and told the guy in the shop, I'm extra large in this. Got the extra large, too big. It's like it's just like irritating. And I was so excited to get in the water, like I am every time, like surfers are, that I didn't take it back.
It's like a child.
I just thought, sod it, it'll be all right. I'll grow into it. But I'm not 12 anymore, and you don't grow into clothes anymore.
Yeah, it's one of these things that I didn't know at all that there would be different sizes for different brands until I started researching myself, trying to find my own wetsuit and figuring out what size I needed. And it's one of those things you don't know until you get into a situation where, like you say, you've bought one wetsuit in one brand extra large and the other in another, and it's completely different. So these are the things that I feel like I've learned on my journey so far as well, and I'm trying to create content that will stop other people making the same mistakes.
Yeah, well, it's good that you're kind of giving back, because like people like yourself are gonna. It's kind of like a shortcut to being a better surfer, isn't it?
I suppose so.
For others,
out of all of the problems I've had, we're making small improvements for everyone else.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well, we speak about it a lot on the podcast. How we've made lots of silly mistakes with going in silly conditions and things like that. So hopefully people will listen and go, "Well, I don't want that to happen to me." So and they'll do the thing when same thing with your website. I presume they're going to go on and take the quiz and get the right
Yeah,
board or
yeah,
get the right wetsuit.
It's an interesting one. I like to think the stuff I put on the website is helpful, and if it's not, then it's not worth putting on there. So I try and post stuff like, once a month if I can, because I've got a normal sort of 9 to 5 job on the side, and this is more of a hobby than anything else that I thought I might just try and do. So yeah, if it's not helping, if I don't feel like it's helping, or if I don't feel the content is really good enough for anyone else to read, then I won't put the effort in. But I found myself a lot of the time really putting in the hours and the research to make something that I would want to read myself, and something that I'd find useful myself, because I think that's the best way to sort of do it, I suppose, from my opinion.
Yeah, so the people we've had on in the past on the podcast are just like you. They're a passion project. We had the night surfer guy who's kind of breaking ground on surfing in the evening and at night. Sorry, and he's like doing the videos on it. People find that really interesting. And we had Onion Surf magazine on. A guy's just started up his own surf publication, and that's a passion project. And then there's you that's doing this with your blog posts, like you said, like the history of surfing, and then you're helping people. Like the quizzes is such a good idea. That's such a great thing to put on there. And then I know you've done like your recent post is about
Christmas ideas.
Yeah, Christmas ideas for surfers. So if your partner is a surfer, so it's not just going to be surfers coming to your website for that reason, is it? That people are looking for gifts. And I was reading it earlier, and you've structured it really well. So it was like gifts are like was it over 400 or under 400?
Well, yeah, it starts at 200.
Oh, that was it. Yeah, sorry, 200
kind of money for a Christmas gift,
Yeah,
depends how much you like the person, doesn't it?
Yeah, normal levels of under 50 quid, under 25, under £10. So I've just tried to structure it in a way that I'd want to read it. Like if there's just loads of ideas and they're different prices, it's just a pain in the arse, and I wouldn't bother, and I'd just probably click off. So
yeah, and that's what people want to do, don't they? They want to get on, find the gift, go and buy it, done. Yeah. And so it is like an actual service you're providing there.
So what about your own personal surfing? How long? When did you start surfing?
It started when I was a kid, like sort of most surfers. I was lucky enough to have a few lessons down in Polzeath over a weekend, and that sort of started my passion for it. And I was good enough to stand up maybe a couple of times in those lessons, and I also got hit in the face with a surfboard, and I was still enjoying it. So
right, a passage that is
going right. And it just started. I was probably 11 or 12, and I'd never done anything like it before, and just seen people doing it, like Kelly Slater, not really knowing anything about him, but it always looked really cool, and just thought I'd give it a go, and it was brilliant. And since then, the first surfboard I bought was when I was about 13, and I saved up 75 quid, which took me about 5 years to buy this sort of blue foamy from Putsborough, and it was probably about 6'6", and I was like, at that age you start growing. So, and I'm at that age, I'm also very dependent on my mum and dad taking me to the coast, because I don't live near the coast. I'm from Somerset, so it's a good sort of hour and a half, 2 hours. So I was stoked to get this sort of new surfboard, and I wanted to try it out straight away. And we didn't end up getting back to the beach for like another year. So I just bought this new £75 surfboard, and I had to wait a whole year because mum and dad didn't go to the beach or whatever. And by the time I got back to the beach, took it straight in the water, ran as fast as I could, tried to stand up on it, and the thing just sank, because I was obviously a lot bigger than I was back in the day. So it was a bit of pill to swallow, I suppose. So that's kind of where it started. But after that, like I said, I'm still dependent on mum and dad taking me surfing or going to the beach. So I didn't really surf for quite a long time, and it was only until I was able to drive myself, I sort of got back into going to the beach, and I spent a summer with my mates, just renting out boards at Woolacombe, renting out wetsuits because I didn't want to spend any proper money, and it's really cheap to do that, and it's a great way to sort of reinvigorate that sort of love for surfing. And I was just hooked again. Like, it was just the second time I thought, right, yeah, this is something that I love doing, and it's something that I've been missing. And that was kind of the start of me doing lots of research, me constantly looking at surf forecasts on Magic Series, me constantly looking at surfboards I can't afford and wetsuits that I think I should buy, and just asking and just asking Google lots of questions that didn't really have the answers. And I just thought, well, if there aren't any answers here, then maybe I should try and create a space where the answers are. So that's where my love of surfing has come from. It's come from a few lessons down in Polzeath, and it's just grown into something that I love to do. It's like you've mentioned on a few of your episodes. It's a great getaway from the rest of the world, and you can just go into the waves and for a couple of hours and completely forget about everything else, and you're just concentrating on the next wave and concentrating on trying to stand up better or trying to do that bottom turn better. And it's such a nice thing to have sort of up your sleeve, to just get away to the coast and get amongst the waves and completely almost lose yourself. So that's kind of what's happened.
Yeah, I know a lot of surfers feel the same, and a lot of surfers kind of go nuts if they haven't been in the water for a while, because it's losing that. It's more or less, Zen meditative state. That's like,
yeah.
We have friends as well that only get chance to go once a year as well. So
yeah, I totally empathise with them. I'm from Somerset, and at the moment I'm living in London, so I'm a good 4.5 hours away from the coast. Killer. So, I fully understand the missing out factor, and obviously we're in this lockdown period at the moment, but I have tried to go back every few months to just dip my toe back in the water and try and get amongst it again. But it's quite difficult at the moment. But every time I go back, it's just such a refreshing feeling.
Yeah, it does help you reset, doesn't it? So does that mean the Bristol wave is slightly closer to you now, like just at the end of the M5?
Yeah. I suppose you're right. I'm closer to the Bristol wave than I would be to Putsborough or Woolacombe. Actually went last month? I think it was last month, and booked an advanced session, which is a story in itself. But
you've got to say what happened.
You've got to tell us then.
Okay. So, as you can imagine, coming from London, it's a long way to travel. And I wasn't able to take my surfboard or my wetsuit because they're back in Somerset, and I don't have them here in London. So I booked an advanced session, basically off the back of, I know you guys did your episode on the wave, and for some reason I thought I could hone your sort of skill set from what you had said, and thought I was a similar level. And I remember you saying something along the lines of, we think we can go to an advanced session.
Yeah.
And the day that I booked off work was, on that day there was only an advanced session available, and before going to the wave, I had just come back from a sort of really good session down in Devon, and so I was feeling quite confident about my ability and not really too worried about it. So
yeah,
basically fast forward to the wave, and I'm getting my rental board and my wetsuit sorted, and I'm paddling out with the rest of the team, and I'm at the back of the pack, so everyone is in front of me in the lineup, and it's quite quickly apparent that these guys are not my level. They are very good surfers. They're doing cutbacks when I'm still working on a bottom turn, and they've either been to the wave before or are very decent surfers. So being at the back of the pack, I'm sort of waiting for my wave to come around, and I get to the point where I'm waiting for my wave, and then it shuts off. So if you've been to the wave, you'll know that every sort of every set they have a 3-minute break in between, just to let the water sort of settle. So the first set had gone, and I'd sort of missed it, and I was the very first person for the second set. So,
so everybody's
it's literally the last pace I wanted to be, knowing that I probably couldn't already match these guys in terms of the ability. So I waited there for a really awkward sort of couple minutes, and basically this wave just came out of nowhere. It didn't come out of nowhere. I knew it was coming. But,
yeah.
It's like a huge wall of water that just seems to just come out of nowhere, and it was much bigger than anything I'm used to. And basically, the board just dived straight into the water, and I went head over arse, and that was basically it for a good few minutes underwater. But that happened a couple of times. I did get I did get bottled a few times in the wave, and just thought, instead of drowning here, what I'll do is I'll get an early hot chocolate in the main building, and that was it, unfortunately. So I saved the lifeguards the disappointment of having to drag me out the water. But
Yeah.
Well, live and learn, I suppose.
It was a very humbling experience because it's something that I thought I could do, and very quickly the water just slapped me in my ass and just went, "No, mate, you're not ready for this at all."
It is a very difficult wave to surf. I think it's not. It doesn't. It's. I don't know if you heard when we were speaking to Nick and the wave maker Nick, and he was saying about it. It reacts more like a sort of
a reef break.
He was saying, the way it works, and it does. I found that it like goes up very quickly from nothing, and you're just like, whoa, there it is, and you've got to be like super quick to your feet. I think when we said about we feel like we could do that advanced session, I think in all honesty, you've got to take that like beginner intermediate session first of all, just to know how that wave reacts. It does react very differently to something in the sea that you can see coming from a long way, and you can get, I can prepare for that. I can see it. It's just like, boom, go like that. And you're like, whoa, I'm not ready.
Yeah. It's something. I completely agree. And it's, I'm in the process of writing sort of my review of the wave. And, I think it's a fantastic place on the whole. But that one piece of advice I'm going to be telling people is, if they haven't been to the wave before, the first thing you want to do is book a session that you can surf, because like you say, like Nick said as well when you interviewed him, it's a completely different wave, and it is a proper reef break that most UK surfers just won't know how to handle. And if you book a session where you're not quite at the level, the wave is going to tell you, as in like it's gonna eat you up and it's going to spit you out. So if you're getting that first session in, just book a session where you can try and learn how the wave goes, I suppose, is what I'd be doing.
Yeah, I think that's good advice, actually. That is good advice. Because like when you get out and you can stay there and you watch the other settings going off, and you can watch the other sessions going, there are a lot of people struggling in there. And like I had 2 sessions when I was there. My second session was awful. I was just so tired, and I just had like nothing left at all. And so don't say it.
You were Ian Beale.
He was going to say it. I just caught his eye then. He was going to say Ian Beale. No, as soon as I said, I got nothing left, I wish I didn't say it.
I got nothing left.
Pete's got these weird sayings that he likes doing. But yeah, that's really good advice for people, because the money's actually coming down for the cost of the wave now, isn't it? I've noticed it.
Yeah, it's something I noticed, because I've also got another blog post that tries to tell everyone about the wave before they go, and I keep having to update the prices, because in the summer it was a lot more expensive. I think it was 65 quid possibly for a lesson, and now it's 45 in the winter. So I don't know if it's seasonal. I can only guess it's because it's getting colder and colder.
Well, my wife can have another lesson then.
It's good that they're bringing it down anyway, because like we live about 30 minutes away from it, and I'd like it to be something we can do regular. So unfortunately now we've gone into like the second wave of lockdown, haven't we? And
well, we are just about to.
Just about
tomorrow? No, next day.
No, Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
So this was a couple of days before the lockdown for anybody else just listening after that. And they've had to close, unfortunately. So they've had a really difficult year with regards to, profit, I suppose, and just being able to survive. So if they're still there after this, it's going to be great, isn't it? If
they're still there, they're going to still be there. So if we flip back, then we do this a lot. We jump around back to this post that I've got in front of me now, which is the best gift ideas. Seeing as this is going to come out on the 1st of December, it would be a good idea to go through this best gift ideas for surfers for 2020. Seeing as it's like a
like a Christmas shopping list episode.
Yeah.
So on the start, if we go from the start, so we've got from over £200 the GoPro Hero 9 Black.
Yes, please.
Yes, I did have one. Not one of those. I had an action cam thing, something. It's in the sea at Saunton, I mentioned before. Yeah.
Not that we'll go through everyone and get you to talk about everyone.
No, I think there's 46, so it would take an absolute age to go through each
if
one.
we'll just pick out a few and just see how you thought about them. So, how
you
did
used
get on?
you used the GoPros before?
Yeah, I've got nothing like a GoPro Hero 9. Mine's a Hero 5 Black, which I got ages ago, and it's still doing the job. So there's no chance I'm going to be spending, that kind of money on a new one. But if you're a millionaire, that's a fantastic gift to give any surfer.
All right, and then flip down there. We've got the dry robe.
Yeah,
Awesome bit of kit. Anybody who wants to buy a dry robe is just whoever invented the dry robe is a genius for a start. It's an absolutely fantastic bit of kit. I love standing in my dry robe in the winter, laughing at Leighton while he's freezing in his builder's bucket, trying to wrap his towel around him as quick as possible.
I see a lot of people just wearing them as coats now as well. Just like not even getting changed or anything, just wearing them out.
Yeah,
I've seen that as well. I saw someone last week on the tube in London in a dry robe. I was like, bloody hell, how far away are you from Braunton? Like,
you just like, I don't know. I think I'd be like that, mate. Come on.
It's kind of cool, isn't it? It's kind of cool. I like that.
If you can pull it off. And what are these? There's another camera on there as well. Is it? Like, I'm going to butcher the name. Akaso.
Yeah, so these are I suppose they're trying to offer, these cameras are trying to offer just as good a spec as your GoPro, but with a much lower price. So I've tried to, like you said, I don't know how to pronounce it. They're called a Casso, but I've tried to pick some of the best reviewed ones on Amazon at different price points, in case anyone can't afford a GoPro, because they are very expensive things. So that's why they're in there. Basically, they're sort of a more accessible action camera if you needed one.
And you got the some surf skates on there as well. So how did you find the 2 barefoot surf skate?
Yeah, so it's been something that I've had on my list for ages, because I've never skateboarded, and I've seen these things on Instagram and on the web all over the place, and you see these guys riding them, and they're just carving left and right, and it looks like it's something that really improves your technique. So it's something that I've been researching, and normally they're over £100 what I've seen, and if you go onto the proper websites, that they could be £250 plus. So when I found this one by 2 Bare Feet at $74.99, I thought that's a great accessible way to kit someone a surf skate, and it's something that I probably want to get on my Christmas gift.
Definitely. It's definitely kind of quenches your thirst for surf. Like I've got one, and I live by the coast.
He says he's got one. It's supposed to be a present for his son, but he just uses it all the time.
It is a present for my son. It's fine. It does 2 things. It's for him and it's for me. I love carving with the thing. So where I live it's not a surf break, but we have a seafront, and there's a prom there, and that's lit up at night. And there's just a great surfing kind of patch to take that thing out and carve along. So that's definitely a good one to have on your list.
Yeah, and then you go down Wave gift cards. Obviously, we've discussed the Wave, and gift cards for anybody who wants to go surfing is a brilliant idea.
It is a really good idea, that one, actually.
Yeah, they're really good if you're just running out of time and you need something, as quickly as possible. Those things would just get straight into your inbox as soon as you bought them, and you can just give them straight away. So there's no delivery times on those stuff.
You can print off the voucher, can you?
Yeah, you just print out the voucher. I did it before, and it's just a bit of paper, and it's just like, here's your £50 gift card or whatever. So they're really handy if you've got no time and you need a surfing gift ASAP.
Yeah, I got 90 quid's worth sat at home, and I still haven't used them yet because we're about to go back into lockdown. I was like, I'm going to use them now, and now we're about to go back into lockdown. Brilliant. And then you got Surf Ears 3.0. Surf Ears, absolutely brilliant things. Have you used them?
Yeah, I've got. I'm lucky enough to have a set. I've done a review on them. They're absolutely brilliant bits of kit. They they help stop a condition that's quite common with surfers in the UK because it's so cold, called exostosis, which is also known as surfer's ear. And it's basically a horrible condition where a part of your bone in your ear starts to grow as you're getting exposed to the cold weather, and it can actually stop you hearing and stuff. So just by sticking some surfing earplugs in whilst you're surfing will stop it. So at the moment, surf ears are the 3.0s are the best ones on the market, and I use them every time I go surfing, and it's a great bit of kit that will hopefully stop the development of surfers ear in the future, I suppose.
Yeah, and to be honest, they're not that badly priced considering of what they are actually going to do for you. It's something that I think is definitely worth the investment.
Yeah, sounds like a horrible thing to develop, doesn't it? And you also got the donations for Surfers Against Sewage on there as well. That's a really good one. That is, I really like that one because obviously they're an incredible charity and stuff. So that's sort of like to the cheaper end of the reviews, isn't it?
Yeah. So I know you guys talked to Hugo, who was on one of the episodes, and it's just a really easy way to give a gift without really giving them anything. A donation to Surfers Against Sewage is a great way to just redistribute cash into a charity that does great work to help our oceans stay as they are. And if you didn't want to do a donation, you can also buy some stuff from their shop, and some of their t-shirts are really nice. So
yeah, he was a lovely guy. So much information that he had. I've said before, I was blown away. You get to an end of an answer of a question with him, and you just go, yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah, loads of information.
I didn't know what to say. You've got on there as well North Core Power Strokes, the originals. These are bloody good. I've got some of these, the power band things, and I found them really useful. I said I was struggling for a while with paddle strength, and these helped a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's this list is almost a little bit embarrassing because it seems like it's sponsored by Northcore because they've done so many good little gift things, but it's just those Powerstroke originals are brilliant. I've not used them myself, but and I've used plenty of resistance bands in the gym, and it's really good to, like you say, build up your endurance and your paddle fitness. It's definitely something that is like underrated as amateur surfers go. It's something that I don't have anything of, and when I went to the wave and got chewed up, I was knackered in the first sort of 15 minutes, so it's probably something I should get myself as well.
Yeah, I mean the Northcore thing. That's why we were so chuffed. We got that the Northcore Surf Show 15 code to put in on the website that you get 15% off anything, because there's so many extra things there that are just absolutely brilliant for all your all the accessories. They've just, it looks like they've just looked at surfing and go, right, what could make everyone's life easier, and just gone at it.
They have cheaper versions of the changing robes on there as well, don't they?
Yeah,
which is handy.
I've got one of the not the dry robe ones, but one of the standard ones that's just basically a towel with a hood, and that's really good. I can't quite afford the dry robe, but
I know that feeling.
The changing ones are really good too.
Going away from that's your latest blog, isn't it? Like your kind of presence for surfers. On your other blogs, well, you've also got etiquette on there as well, haven't you? You've got like surfing kind of guides, and I've seen one of them is etiquette. So that's a really handy one for people who are just moving from like the beginner to the intermediate stage, isn't it? And I think it's 7 rules you put on there. Is that right?
Yeah. It's 7 rules of surfing etiquette. It's again something that you don't, if you're new to surfing, if you're learning, it's something that doesn't just prop up in your head. Oh, I must learn the rules of surfing. It's something that's kind of unspoken. There's no real rules as to what you do in the sea, but there's things that you should and shouldn't do, and this 7 rules of etiquette is trying to outline all of those definitely do's and don'ts. So again, it's just something that I learned whilst I was out in the waves, and I got told off by doing something I shouldn't have, and from that I just thought, right, I need to make sure I'm a bit more clued up on what is actually okay when I'm surfing with other people and what isn't. So that's where this post has come from, and it's got some it's got some real shit drawings that I did on my iPad of like people surfing and then where to go if you're paddling out and where not to go, and it's a very hopefully a useful post for people who are beginning and don't know.
Definitely. I actually like the drawings. They're really simple and explain it really well. So that's what people want. They don't need to see anything kind of overly fancy. They just want to know the information, don't they? And which you seem to have covered really well.
Yeah, I think there's something in that as well, where when you start talking about etiquette to people which that are moving to that level of starting to get out of the back and starting to be a better surfer, there's a lot of things with etiquette where people are still a bit scared of it, if in a way, like they just. I don't know if it's just a British thing where you don't want to be in the way, or you don't want like that stiff upper lip sort of thing. Like I saw something the other day. A guy was posting and he's saying about if someone tells you something, just take it and just be like, oh yeah, okay, sorry, I've learned. I learned from that, and just take it. Don't be like about it. You just gotta take it. And I think. There's a lot of people. I don't know. I think there should be an etiquette lesson before you hire a board from a surf shop or something like that.
Yeah, these are the rules. Yeah,
that's a good idea. If they included that in, if you took a lesson, if they just took you out and just explained, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. If you ever want to progress in your surfing life, then I think that would help a lot of confrontations.
What I do like about your website as well, because I've been reading it, and you've done this very clever thing on your blogs where you've put the duration of the read, which is actually really handy. Says if people on their lunch break or whatever, or they stood waiting for the bus or the train or something, they can look on and say 8-minute read. That's perfect, because the amount of times I've gone on to an article, started reading it, and you've had to stop halfway through, and then you don't end up going back to it or whatever. So people go, oh, I've got 10 minutes, I can read that on my lunch break, and you've got quite a lot of information on there as well, like in these small kind of bite-sized snippets with the information that you need. So that's really good. The website is like super slick.
Yeah, it's not something I've ever done before. This is I'm not a website builder. I'm just someone who's getting away with this at the moment on WordPress, and I've learned how to do everything through YouTube, to be honest. And that little snippet of how long each blog post is, I think, is just an easy way to tell people how many words there might be. And it's like you said, it's an easy thing to just put on there, and it helps people navigate the website, I suppose. But
there's also I've also just noticed, looking through the list here, there's ding repair tape, which is something I bought but I haven't actually used because
you use it on mine.
Yeah, someone else nicked it all. Brilliant little thing though, especially for like little as it says, little dings or little
it's kind of it's quick fixes while you're out on a session.
Yeah, and Leighton's used all of mine. I think that says more about his surfing than my surfing, but I won't go there right now. So what would you recommend? So out there at the moment, what would you recommend for someone? Say they're going to buy something for their family. What would be a family member? What would be the thing you'd go right, buy that for someone for Christmas? What do you reckon it would be?
Well, I suppose it depends what kind of budget they've got, but I think if you're after something that I think a good gift on here is the subscription to some of the magazines. So you've got Carve on there and also Wavelength, and they're sort of gifts that they give all year round, because there's 4 or 5 magazines throughout the year. So I think that's quite a nice thing to give someone. You've also got the donation stuff. I think is nice from Surfers Against Sewage, which is around the 20-30 quid mark. But if you wanted to go extravagant, like the surf skate at 75 quid is I think really good to help improve a surfer's maneuverability and balance. And if you're short for time, then a voucher for the Wave in Bristol is a brilliant sort of thing to have up your sleeve as well. So it depends. I know that's not a very good answer.
No, that's a brilliant answer. That's absolutely fine. That's fine. That's a good answer. And so, where do you want this site to go? What is your plans for it? Where do you want it to take you?
I've not really thought that far.
Yeah, that's
It
like
was
us with this.
it was it was just something that I thought I could help other UK surfers. So I've put it together, and I've just kept posting stuff on there. And I've learned as I've gone. At the beginning, my posts were long and laborious and quite boring. And I feel like now I've learned actually how to write properly, which sounds a bit stupid, but write in a way that's interesting to readers and make it a bit more punchy. So
Yeah.
it's something that I think I'll just continue doing until I don't think it's useful or until I don't know, see where I'm at in 5 years. I don't know, but it's something I'll just continue doing because I love surfing, and it's just a continuous sort of hobby of mine whilst writing this blog.
I suppose it's going to help you get over the fact that surfing's not that close to you as well. You're kind of still immersed in the culture, aren't you, by doing this?
Yeah, it's a secret outlet. It's like you guys, if I can't get to the waves, then I'll talk about the waves, or I'll write about the waves. It's another, especially like you said, being in London, it's a nice little way for me to stay submerged in that sort of part of my life, which is a nice thing to have.
Yeah, well, the website is so well put together, and it's so easy to follow. I mean, it just makes everything so clear.
It's nice snippets, nice way to navigate around it. So, do you want to tell everyone your website address and where to find you on social media and stuff?
Yeah, so if you wanted to check out the blog, it's thewaveshack.com, and then you can find me on all the usual socials on thewaveshack.com, because some twat already stole the Wave Shack, so I had to make up a new one.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling, looking for website addresses in the past, and you're like, oh, no, yeah. Yeah, and I bet it's someone that stole it and doesn't even use it, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I even messaged them, and they just saw it and ignored it, so I feel like I've been
that's
left
the
on red.
worst. That's the worst, when you message someone and it comes up. I'll tell you the worst one on Instagram. You message someone, it just comes up seen, and there's nothing left. You're like, you just blanked me completely.
Burn, that is.
That is, isn't it? But yeah, right. Well, I think that we'll wrap that up there, because that was absolutely brilliant, and it's given, it's a perfect one to come out at the beginning of December to give people loads of ideas of things to go and get. So if you want to go over to the Wave Shack and check it out, and it's and also with New Year coming up, and people making New Year's resolutions, if surfing's going to be one of those, then they can head to your website, and you've got all the information you need for a beginner surfer, really, haven't you? So that's right down to the etiquette, the surf history, and the kit required. And I'm loving the quizzes on there. I think that's such a good idea.
Yeah, well, hopefully it will help. Future surfers or anyone trying to improve, and that's kind of what it's all about and what it stemmed from. So I'll try and keep everything as up to date as I can, and I'll keep that gift list up to date up until sort of after Christmas in terms of the prices. So hopefully it will help all your lovely listeners out there on their journey to find a decent gift.
Yeah, brilliant.
Well, thank you very much, Rich. Thanks for coming on.
No, cheers, guys. I'm a big fan anyway. So
thank you very much. Cheers.
And, it's been great talking to you.
And thanks for that, Rich. That was a good one, wasn't it?
That was a good one. You said something different.
Yeah, I know it was. I was actively thinking of something different.
Yeah. No, it was a good one. Loads of information, loads of ideas for products, loads of stuff on his blog that will help you out if if you're at that stage where you're looking to go out, further out into the lineup and stuff like that, and you want to know what the etiquette is. You can find that on there. He's
got surf history on there as well. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a really good website. Just to sit down and read. Like we said, he's put like a time on each blog post, so before you even start reading if you've got time to read it, which is really handy.
Useful.
Yeah. We really liked him. I love this thing that we seem to be coming across now with all these surfers that are doing something within the surf culture or within the surf group itself, just to help other surfers out, and
it's like a proper community.
It is. Yeah. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Community.
Yeah, I know. I could see you struggling. I could see it ticking away, and you're like, what is it?
Yeah, but it is. Yeah, it is. And they all seem to be genuinely nice people, and they're all doing something. And it's for two reasons: one, to give back, and one, to be immersed in surfing when you're not actually surfing.
Yeah. It seems to find the people who live further away that don't live right on the coast. Actually, saying that, you look at our last interview. You can't. Our last interview was a vet, and she lives there, and she's like fully submersed in everything.
Yeah,
surf culture. But yeah, like I
well,
think if you've got that thing, if you can't surf all the time, you need to find ways to fill that gap.
Yeah, with something surf related.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do a podcast.
Yeah.
He does a blog and reviews.
Yeah, and there's Onion Surf Magazine, does surf publication, and yeah, but it makes the whole thing richer, though, doesn't it? You know, when there's people like this around doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think as long as you're not putting out negative stuff, it's brilliant.
No, well, nobody's going to want to read that or see it anyway. So if you were putting out negative stuff, it wouldn't last for very long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. So, I mean, that's about it for this episode. Our next episode is going to be on winter surfing and...
Yeah, just one with us talking.
Yeah.
Which people have been asking for, which is a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, well, only your mum. No, yeah, we've had a couple of requests to say people like interviews, but they like to hear ones when we're just talking as well. Don't know why you'd want to listen to us just talking. No, we don't even like to listen to each other talking.
No, I don't know. I don't listen to those ones back.
I don't listen to you anyway, so don't worry. Anyway, yeah, so cheers, Rich. That was really useful. And don't forget our North Core promo code is out there, SurfShow15. Go and use that. Anything you buy till the end of December 2020. If you could follow us and subscribe on YouTube, that would be really helpful. We post every episode up there as well. We are going to try and post some more videos soon, so that should be interesting.
Yeah.
And
subscribe and leave a comment on your podcast platforms.
Yeah, on iTunes. Well, you can't do it on Spotify, but if you can follow us on Spotify and leave a comment or review on iTunes or some of the others.
Yeah, we do read them all, and they're really nice.
Yes, thank you. Anyway, we'll see you next time. So, goodbye.
Cheers.